The young master of Beijing's elite circle loves petite feet, slender waists, pale-skinned, delicate women, even pregnant ones. My celebrity sister, desperate to catch his eye, considered bone contouring, liposuction, whitening injections, and IVF. I urged her not to ruin her health for vanity. Then suddenly, the young master publicly announced his relationship with a plastic surgery disaster. My sister was convinced that I ruined her dream of marrying into wealth. She didn't hesitate to incite her fans' emotions, leading to my cyberbullying death. When I opened my eyes again, my sister asked me, Meng, I want to use the money from selling my car and house for plastic surgery. Do you think it's okay? I replied, of course, sister, go all out to marry the crown prince. You'll definitely be happy. But when she actually married the crown prince through plastic surgery, she regretted it. Do you want to have Efei's eyes? Do you want to have Liying's nose? Do you want to have Reba's lips? Come to Liren Plastic Surgery Hospital, where we'll tailor-make a stunning face just for you. Envious of Mimi's slender waist, jealous of Dartian's fair skin, dreaming of Xiaotong's petite size 35 feet. Come to Liren Plastic Surgery Hospital, we have all your dreams. The television was broadcasting an advertisement for a plastic surgery hospital. On screen, a technical wizard used AI to merge the most beautiful facial features and figures of female celebrities onto a single model. The effect achieved was as if descended from heaven. Following this advertisement, an interview with Lu Tingchen, the crown prince of Beijing's elite circle, about plastic surgery faces immediately popped up. The crown prince said, I'm not against plastic surgery, in fact. I quite admire girls who are willing to put in the effort and pay the price to become more beautiful. As a man, I can't help but adore women with petite feet, slender waists, and fair, youthful, delicate features. If a girl were willing to make such changes for me, I would be deeply moved, the reporter asked. It's said that Mr. Lu has left his seeds for future generations at Liren Hospital. What was the intention behind this? Lu Tingchen smiled slightly. I deeply respect women and their reproductive rights. I have no resistance towards girls who have the autonomy to control their own lives. Perhaps I'm also waiting for my own true love. The advertisement ended. Elder sister Xiao Qingying's eyes remained fixed on the TV screen for a long time. After a while, she finally turned her head to look at me. She said, Meng, I think this is my chance to marry into a wealthy family. I want plastic surgery and IVF. I want to marry the crown prince. In my past life, my sister told me the same thing. At the time, I thought everything on TV was just advertising. The crown prince has wealth, power, and looks. How could he possibly be interested in a woman with artificial enhancements all over her body? I advised her. The risks of plastic surgery and IVF are too high. It's better to invest your money in bank wealth management products or make some small investments. Manage your own little life well. And steadily carve out your own path in the entertainment industry to gain your own fans. That's the right way. She agreed with what I said, and thus abandoned the idea of plastic surgery. But when the young master actually married a D-list internet celebrity whose entire body was a product of technology and extreme procedures, my sister had another major meltdown. She even went so far as to lie and slander me, accusing me of inciting fan emotions, leading to my cyberbullying death. Didn't you say we should skillfully leverage fan emotions to solidify my position in the entertainment industry? You're my sister and my agent. What's wrong with sacrificing a little for me? Besides, this is what you owe me, Xiao Qingmeng. If you hadn't stopped me from going to Liren plastic surgery back then, Lu Tingchen would have fallen in love with me, and I would have been the one marrying the heir. You ruined my dream of joining high society. You destroyed my chance to become a wealthy wife. By then, Xiao Qingying had already become a third-tier celebrity with millions of fans. The path of stardom may not be entirely smooth, but it has been relatively successful. Her assets may not be in the billions, but they certainly amount to tens of millions. Yet she stubbornly covets the position of the young master's wife. Can't she see that the young master's marriage to that plastic surgery freak is merely a ploy to expand his business empire? 2. The scene of Xiao Qingying crying to her fans in the live stream, accusing me of forcing her to attend drinking parties, is still vivid in my mind. The images of fans photoshopping my pictures, adding beauty filters, creating funeral altars, and attaching insulting words, linger incessantly in my thoughts. During those days and nights, I lived in constant fear, feeling worse than death. Extreme fans broke into my home and assaulted me. I was splashed with paint while walking on the street. And many times I narrowly escaped being hit by cars. Because of Xiao Qingying's lies, I became a social pariah. The pain of the knife cutting my wrist remains vivid in my memory. The icy coldness as blood drained away is something I cannot forget. By my side, Xiao Qingying's beautiful eyes were fixed on me. She spoke the same words as in her past life. Meng Meng, I want to use the money from selling my car and house for plastic surgery. Do you think it's okay? Okay, of course, I can. Some people just want to rot and stink. Why should I bother meddling? Seeing me nod, my sister froze slightly, looking somewhat surprised. She pursed her lips and then added, well, since I'm aiming for the crown prince, to increase my chances of winning, I want to undergo the whole package. Bone restructuring, cosmetic surgery, liposuction, and IVF. I'm afraid the money from selling my car and house won't be enough. Meng Meng, do you think you could? I knew what she was thinking. She wanted me to chip in some money, but she seemed to have forgotten. All these years, I've been her agent for free. I don't have any money at all. So before she could finish speaking, I interrupted her. Sis, getting a loan is really easy nowadays. No matter how much you want, it's just a phone call away. Make the call and they'll provide one-on-one door-to-door service. With the money arriving instantly, her face stiffened. Then she put on a gentle expression again and said to me, I'm a public figure. If my fans found out I took out a loan for plastic surgery, they'd definitely look down on me. Meng Meng, my dear Meng Meng, please take out the loan for me. Once I marry Lu Tingchen, I'll repay you immediately with interest. I smiled faintly and said, when applying for a loan, they require income records and credit history. Someone like me with no credit background, financial institutions wouldn't approve tens of thousands for me. She hesitated, her expression conflicted. I cut straight to the point. Sis, it's common knowledge now that young Master Lu Tingchen prefers delicate, petite women with slender waists and fair skin. Especially pregnant ones. Countless women are vying for his attention. If you don't take this gamble, sis, chances are slim you'll ever marry Lu Tingchen. I don't have any advice to offer on this matter. It's up to you to decide. Sis, she gritted her teeth, but her gaze grew resolute. You don't need to give me advice. I'll definitely go through with the plastic surgery at any cost. To become the dainty-footed, slender-waisted, pale, young, and thin pregnant woman that Lu Tingchen likes, I curled my lips slightly before replying, in that case, elder sister probably won't be able to take on any scripts or commercial activities for a while. The company has been considering grooming newcomers lately, and I plan to accept their arrangement to mentor them. She furrowed her brows, her attitude toward me turning even colder. I knew you were snobbish, but I didn't expect you to be this snobbish. You won't even accompany me during my cosmetic recovery. I sighed helplessly. Sis, you secretly signed a contract with the company giving your agent 0 commission. I've been serving you for free all these years. You should be satisfied by now. Right now, you're refusing jobs to get cosmetic surgery, and at least you have savings to fall back on. But if I don't work, the company won't pay me a single cent. I can't exactly sleep on the streets and live on thin air, can I? I turned to look at her. Or, if you're willing to cover my rent and living expenses, I wouldn't mind being your caretaker. She choked on her words. When she spoke again, her tone was dripping with sarcasm. All right then, I won't hold back our big shot agent from making it big. As I was leaving, she couldn't resist putting me down one last time. If it weren't for the company valuing me back then, you'd never have gotten your foot in the door here, drinking the water but forgetting who dug the well. You're the very picture of ingratitude. No wonder Mom and Dad never liked you since childhood. Who could possibly like someone with your character? Yes. Ever since I was little, Mom and Dad only favored my sister and never liked me, so when I reached severe depression after being bullied by my sister and turned to them for help, they completely ignored me, even stepping on me to build a tower for my sister. Xiao Qingmeng is nothing but a despicable villain. We are ashamed to have such a daughter. If possible, I wish I had never given birth to her. I turned back and looked at my sister. I said calmly, Sis, you're absolutely right. If fans found out you took out loans for plastic surgery, they'd definitely unfollow you. Why don't you try asking our parents? They have properties and cars under their names. And since they're both government employees, it's usually easier for them to get low-interest loans. They dote on you so much. They'd probably agree. She paused, her eyes lighting up. 3. Mom and Dad sold their house and car. I came to the city with my savings. My sister liquidated all her assets and, together with our parents' money, poured everything into Liren Plastic Surgery Hospital. Mom stayed by my sister's side day and night. Dad, meanwhile, squeezed into a rented apartment with me. Dad doesn't understand my sister's decision to get plastic surgery. He often complains about it to me. A wide jaw can be reshaped. Thin lips can get hyaluronic acid injections. Small eyes can have double eyelid surgery. Thick waist and legs can undergo liposuction. Skin whitening can be achieved with injections. And body curves can be enhanced with silicone implants. I get that women want to look beautiful, but tiny feet, what the hell? The doctor said size 35 feet can only be achieved by removing toe bones. Your sister has gone completely mad. Moreover, as an unmarried woman, to assert her independent control over her reproductive rights, she actually opted for IVF. And she even specifically named the child of the Beijing elite's crown prince. The key point is, the hospital actually fulfilled all her requests, over 10 million yuan. Who knows when your sister will be able to earn that back? My father sighed repeatedly. Yet every day, he still dutifully went to the market to buy groceries and make soup, send the best meal subsidies to the hospital. Not a single drop of soup was left for me. Your sister has made such a big sacrifice for our family. Don't you dare covet her soup. I'm not criticizing you, but as a girl, you don't tidy up or dress up, and you can't even afford a single lipstick. If your sister becomes successful someday, don't try to climb onto her coattails, lest her in-laws look down on her. I retorted to my father, what if I'm the one who becomes successful one day? He scoffed coldly, impossible, you're so foolish and stupid. How could you ever succeed? Even if by some miracle you did, we wouldn't want anything to do with it. You just walk your sunny path, and we'll walk our single plank bridge. I glanced at the surveillance camera mounted on the wall and ultimately chose not to respond. My sister requested a 6-month leave from the company. Additionally, she personally signed a newcomer named Sun Hao. She also mapped out a career path for Sun Hao. The company used her plan to create a cluelessly cute persona tailored for Sun Hao. With this persona, Sun Hao quickly debuted and gained a considerable number of fans. As a result, the company's trust in his sister increased. Later, his sister signed another group of newcomers, and she established very clear persona standards for this new batch of talents, without a concrete plan in place. This batch of newcomers debuted one after another, bringing substantial revenue to the company. This also allowed my sister, who hadn't worked for half a year, to receive a handsome dividend through her keen eye for talent, and me, just as my sister was making a fortune, she was fired by the company. When Dad moved out, he didn't hesitate to mock me mercilessly. Thanks to your sister, your mother, and I can live a good life. You weren't willing to help when your sister needed care after her plastic surgery, so don't expect to benefit from her now. When your sister marries into a wealthy family, don't you dare come crawling back to claim kinship. I watched as my father got into my sister's luxury car. My sister and mother were in the car, not even willing to roll down the window to greet me. I smiled with relief, turned and walked into a nearby lottery shop, bought the number deeply etched in my memory, waited until the evening draw. As I expected, this number won 1 million. After taxes, I'll still have about 800,000 left. I figured something out long ago when my sister signed Sun Hao. That is, my sister has also been reborn. Therefore, she accurately pinpointed a group of newcomers who would gain minor popularity a few years later. She intended to exploit their potential value from this batch of rookies. She knew full well that Lu Tingchen would inevitably fall for petite, slim-waisted, fair-skinned, delicate pregnant women. so he would definitely visit Liren Plastic Surgery Hospital. But there are so many people getting plastic surgery. If she wants to stand out from the crowd, she must possess extraordinary abilities. Becoming a soon-to-be rising star entrepreneur is undoubtedly more aligned with the Beijing elite's expectations of an independent woman than being a third-tier internet celebrity. Her sister's idea was correct, the path was right, but the original intention was wrong, from beginning to end. Everything she did was aimed at relying on men, but can men really be relied upon, especially a man who keeps urging you to get plastic surgery, cosmetic procedures, or IVF? The Liu family in Beijing's elite circle owns countless businesses, but after weathering the tides of time, the most profitable venture turned out to be the Liren chain of hospitals, which combines medical aesthetics and IVF services, all to secure the Liu family's status in Beijing's elite circle. Liu Tingchen willingly used himself as advertisement, bringing massive traffic to Liren chain. Sister probably didn't even notice. After Liu Tingchen publicly announced the characteristics of his ideal partner, Liren's stock surged dramatically, reaching unprecedented heights, and Liu Tingchen, for the upcoming betting agreement, plans to leverage emotional topics as his strategy. A plastic surgery freak who comes with her own trending topics and delivers herself to his doorstep is undoubtedly his best choice. 4. When Liu Tingchen and my sister made their relationship public. I registered a film production company and took Su Liang, the obscure girl who had been following me for the past 6 months, with me. Su Liang, true to her name, it's been 2 years since debut, and it's been utterly cold, because of rural origins, also because of an inferiority complex, and even more because of refusing to play by the unspoken rules. She never had any good opportunities all along. I met Su Liang in my previous life when I went to the severe depression patient rescue center. Because we were similar in age and shared comparable experiences, we became each other's support. She told me she dropped out of middle school to work and earn tuition for her younger brother, while I shared that I had always been my older sister's stepping stone. She talked about how all the money she earned over the years went to her family, and I confessed that I hadn't received any bonuses or commissions since I started working. During that time, we competed every day over who had it worse. It was also during that time that we found companions to escape hardship together. Originally, if we try a little harder, we can touch the light again. We promised to watch a movie together on a snowy day. We agreed to eat strawberry ice cream cake after the movie, the kind we never got to taste as children. After finishing the cake, we'll give each other new names and start our lives anew. But what was the result? For the sake of views and trending topics, she went so far as to contact Su Liang's parents and younger brother, making Su Liang's family members cooperate with her in stirring up controversy. The overwhelming flood of insults became the final straw that broke Su Liang. Su Liang jumped into the sea. I slit my wrists, thus ended this lamentable life. This is the script I just bought. I plan to direct it myself, and I've decided you'll be the lead actress. I handed the newly purchased script to Su Liang. Su Liang froze for a moment, glanced at the script's title, and then frowned. She asked, "How much did you pay for this script?" I calmly said, 500,000. Su Liang's face darkened. "You're crazy. You only won 800,000 from the lottery, and you're spending 500,000 on a script. That leaves you with just 300,000. You want to produce a drama yourself. What can you possibly make with 300,000? I took a deep breath and said, "If you want to make it big. This is probably the only way." I knew all the hit TV shows and movies that would blow up in the coming years, but my sister is also very aware of this. With her current influence and Liu Tingchen's assistance, there's no way I can secure these blockbuster projects for Su Liang, so, now, I can only rely on my unique perspective as an agent to select the best scripts from past films and dramas that didn't become hits but had the potential to be blockbusters. Su Liang said, "Go and withdraw." I shook my head. The money's already paid. Su Liang pressed her lips together, looking as if she had the strong urge to beat me to death. Angrily, she snatched the script from my hand and pulled out a card. "I'll read the script. Here's 200,000. Make it last. If you lose money, don't feel too burdened. If all else fails, we'll find a village. I'll farm to support you. I couldn't understand where Su Liang, who had been constantly exploited by her parents and younger brother, got the 200,000 yuan from, but it was undeniable. Because of that 200,000 yuan, this solved a major problem for this self-produced drama. When Lu Tingchen presented Xiao Qingying with a 20-carat diamond ring, Su Liang and I were saving money by playing multiple roles on set. While Lu Tingchen escorted Xiao Qingying to high-profile business galas, Su Liang and I could only afford unlimited refill noodle shops, ordering a single bowl of plain noodles each day. On the day of the final shoot, I only had $20 left in my pocket with Su Liang. My stomach was already growling with hunger, yet Su Liang still suggested buying a strawberry ice cream cake. I gazed at her calm expression. Without much hesitation, I walked into the cake shop with her. On the small cake, there was only half a strawberry. She divided the cake into 2 halves with a small plastic fork. Then she asked the staff for another small plate and moved half of it to me. She said, "We've put in all the effort we could. And now whatever the outcome may be, we must accept it. Tomorrow I'll look for a part-time job, and you go promote this drama. I'll earn money to support you. Eat well, live well, understood?" That moment, tears welled up in my eyes. I understand where Su Liang's 200,000 came from. It was the self-rescue of a severely depressed patient rebelling against the injustices suffered over the past 20+ years. I don't know where Su Liang's rebirth node is, but I'm very clear about why Su Liang in this life chose to stay here, accompany me in filming this drama. From beginning to end, the only purpose was to redeem me. She wanted to help fulfill my dream. She wanted to give me the courage to live again. Xiao Qingmeng, it's snowing. Su Liang's voice was cool and detached. I looked up to see snowflakes falling outside the window. 5. My heroine was handing out flyers at the mall, thinking about adding an extra egg to the noodles she'd cook for me when she got home that night. I dressed myself up smartly, shuttling between major film and television companies, presenting the exquisite promotional materials I had painstakingly created after countless all-nighters. As for my sister, she had already risen from a third-tier actress to become the sensational queen of plastic surgery. Every time she had a street argument with Lu Tingchen, every time they entered or exited a hotel together, it would make the front-page headlines. Amidst the overwhelming flood of cosmetic surgery advertisements, their on-and-off relationship unfolds, until her sister successfully underwent IVF and became pregnant with Lu Tingchen's child. After 3 months of Cold War, the couple achieved a historic reconciliation under the forceful proposal of the Crown Prince of Beijing's elite circle. The stock price of Liren cosmetic surgery chain hospitals soared to an all-time high. Xiao Qingying's face, filled with cosmetic procedures, was visibly deteriorating. The desire for beauty is universal. Yingying is willing to change for me, and I'm deeply moved. I love Yingying, and I love our child, of course. I wouldn't let her or our child suffer any harm. Liren Hospital uses the latest global technology, so even pregnant women won't be affected. Any kind of beauty requires long-term commitment. Continuous cosmetic procedures are the secret to maintaining beauty. I hope all girls can become the best versions of themselves, promoting the pale, young, and thin beauty standard, encouraging women to conform to male aesthetic preferences. Under the guise of self-improvement and self-creation, it's actually psychological manipulation targeting women worldwide. Lu Tingchen's move was truly brilliant, yet it was utterly despicable. Lu Tingchen and Xiao Qingying have misguided women's perception of beauty. I believe that beauty in girls comes in many forms. She can have dark skin, small eyes, or a strong physique. There is no single standard for beauty. The elderly woman donating to children in mountainous areas is beautiful. The teacher standing at the podium is beautiful. The traffic police officer directing traffic is beautiful. Kindness is beautiful. Serving the people is beautiful. And dedication to one's job is also beautiful. Our film tells the story of Su Su, a small-town girl who maintains a clear mind and strives independently in a materialistic metropolis. Su Su's journey of repeatedly questioning and accepting herself mirrors the experiences of countless women. Perhaps through this drama, I hope to convey to all girls that love is not the sole purpose of life. For women to live better lives, they must first learn to love themselves. I ran around everywhere. Finally, one night, I signed the launch contract, a pure revenue-sharing contract, 20% of ad-click revenue, visible desolation. Su Liang has already made plans to farm and support us. I told her not to worry, just wait a little longer, time will tell. Su Liang said okay, without any complaint. Meanwhile, I quietly handled the publicity, posting on major traffic platforms in a vain attempt to give this drama even the slightest boost through increased viewership. Until the 6th month of Su Liang supporting me, a clip video I posted on a short video platform went viral. The daily view count reached a staggering 100 million, likes surpassed 1 million, comments exceeded 50,000. Following this, the drama was propelled to the top of trending searches. Su Liang, the female lead, was recognized while handing out flyers on the street. Fans swarmed towards her. Terrified, Su Liang fled in panic. 6. Lu Tingchen is a master at manipulating public attention. He exploited women's natural desire for beauty, leveraging his own and his partner's influence to persuade inexperienced women to invest all their savings into cosmetic medical procedures. The money from young women alone wasn't enough for him. So he encouraged his partner to continue various cosmetic medical procedures even during pregnancy. The consequences are predictable. My sister's upcoming breastfeeding period, postpartum confinement, and the years following childbirth will likely revolve around cosmetic medicine. I heard Xiao Qingying is expecting a baby girl. I wonder if Lu Tingchen will spare his own daughter, allowing an infant in swaddling clothes to undergo cosmetic procedures from such a young age. After all, doing so would enable his cosmetic medicine business to cover women of all age groups. The abacus was clicking so loudly. Opinions vary widely online about this. Only Xiao Qingying remains lost in the beautiful fairy tale woven for her by the crown prince of Beijing's elite circle. During pregnancy, she received numerous injections of hyaluronic acid and hormonal drugs. In the 2nd trimester, the doctor informed her that the fetus was malformed. In the 3rd trimester, Lu Tingchen insisted on Xiao Qingying undergoing a caesarean section and showcased the scar of the Great Mother to the world, an ugly scar. It was deliberately stitched that way by Lu Tingchen's orders to the doctor. It's all for the better promotion of the upcoming scar removal project by Liren Chain Hospital. My child was stillborn. At 5 months pregnant, the baby died, but the doctor didn't tell me. The entire Liren Chain Hospital belongs to Lu Tingchen. To cover his tracks, Lu Tingchen brought in a healthy baby girl from outside, planning to perform cosmetic procedures on the child once she developed basic features. He wasn't afraid at all that the child might die from the cosmetic procedures, because he could easily cover up everything with his power. There have been many failed cases at Liren plastic surgery, but Lu Tingchen sued every one of those girls, accusing them of illegal intrusion and slander. Meng Meng, help me. I don't want to go under the knife again. I can't bear the pain of the scalpel cutting into my skin anymore. Now I can't even control my bladder or bowels. I was wrong. Please save me. Star-studded gala. When I accompanied Su Liang to accept her Best New Artist award, Xiao Qingying approached me backstage. Because of that drama's explosive popularity, Su Liang became a highly sought-after actress, and I became a red-hot agent overnight. With countless resources at my disposal, the moment Xiao Qingying saw me, besides surprise, there was also resentment in her eyes. Beneath the resentment lies sheer jealousy, suppressing her envy. She once again feigned a pitiable demeanor. Her affairs didn't need her confession. The internet had already exposed plenty. It's just that there was no solid evidence. Everything is still shrouded in mist. How do you want me to help you, sis? I asked. My sister grabbed my hand, her plump lips moving up and down on her artificially smooth, puffy face. Help me make a comeback. I know you have a big director's movie in your hands. This film will be a hit, this year's box office champion. Let me be the lead actress. Once I turn things around, I can leave Lu Tingchen. As long as I rise, you'll be my agent forever. For every income one earn, I'll give you 10%. No, 20%. Her face was full of hope, but those large eyes, repeatedly wounded by knives, had lost all their sparkle. All that remained was exhaustion too deep to conceal. I asked calmly, "Do you really have to make a comeback in films and TV dramas? Lu Ting-chen doesn't seem to have restricted your freedom. The group of newcomers you signed with your previous agency should still be making money for you. You're neither short of money nor freedom, so why subject yourself to the hardships of acting?" She actually broke down into uncontrollable sobs. "Lu Ting-chen hasn't restricted my freedom, but as long as I refuse to cooperate with him on plastic surgery and advertisements, he freezes my credit cards, leaving me without a single cent to spend. Going under the knife is worse than death, and those newcomers I signed before, once they found out I was taking 95% of their earnings, they all demanded to terminate their contracts with the company. They'd rather risk being blacklisted than compromise. These people are utterly ungrateful. If I hadn't recognized their potential back then, how could they possibly have achieved their current status? Now, to appease them, the company not only broke the contract outright but also kicked me out. I'm left penniless, surviving only on my parents' pension. Meng Meng, you're my own sister. You can't refuse to help me." I chuckled disdainfully at her. "Sister? Huh, funny you still remember I'm your sister." She thought I didn't know. It was her who deliberately got me fired from the company, her who blocked my drama from being released on major platforms, and her who hired a flood of trolls to post malicious reviews under Su Liang's drama. Back then, she was already living a life above others, yet she still didn't forget to drive me into a corner. Now, she has fallen into the mud. If I don't step on her a few times, how could I possibly do her justice? 7. I gave my sister the contact information of the famous director, gave her the opportunity to audition. After her audition, she asked the famous director if she could be the lead actress and even invited him to dine privately. The famous director politely declined her invitation, citing work commitments. Then the famous director came to me and asked what I meant. I told you, this drama was tailor-made for Su Liang. The female lead can only be Su Liang. You didn't give me Su Liang, and now today some ugly freak actually wants the female lead role. Can that plastic face of hers even handle my grand cinematography? Director Zhong, I had no choice. You know as well as I do that this ugly freak is my sister. She wants to make a comeback and just had to set her sights on your film. I thought sending her to you would teach her a lesson, but I never expected you'd become so kind and accommodating. Just moments ago, Xiao Qingying called me saying Director Zhong was very satisfied with her audition and was already planning to sign a management contract with me. Director Zhong was taken aback. TSK. It's only out of respect for you that I've been tolerating Xiao Qingying's behavior, so you're saying my patience was misplaced. I sighed. It's my fault for not briefing you beforehand. I really don't know how to make my sister, who always kicks people when they're down, gain some self-awareness. Director Zhong snorted. All right, I get what you mean. Don't worry, I'll handle this matter for you. The next day, promotional campaign for Director Zhong's new film begins, and released clips of several actors auditioning. Among them was Xiao Qingying's. With that plastic face of hers, her entire silicone body trembled as she ran. When laughing or crying, all her facial features scrunched up together, yet not a single tear fell, speaking lines as if toothless. Accompanied by the whistling sound of air leakage, the internet instantly erupted with collective mockery. Oh my God, seeing too many retouched photos usually made me think she was as beautiful as a fairy. No wonder she hasn't acted in dramas for so long. Even her own mother wouldn't recognize this face. It's only Lu Ting-chen who's blind, still treating Xiao Qingying as the most beautiful woman. Ladies who use Xiao Qingying as a model for cosmetic surgery, beware, you might end up looking like a monster. Once upon a time, Lu Ting-chen controlled a wealth of advertising resources for traffic. Xiao Qingying was turned into the template for plastic surgery. All negative online comments were handled cleanly by Lu Ting-chen. But after all, there's a river between the advertising and film industries. For Lu Ting-chen to extend his influence across would require considerable effort. Moreover, Director Zhong was never an easy person to deal with. While Lu Ting-chen knew how to leverage influence, Director Zhong, with decades of experience in the entertainment industry, understood it even better. Xiao Qingying The cosmetic surgery fanatic who frequently topped paid headlines has fallen from grace. Naturally, Lu Tingchen's Liren plastic surgery was also affected by the scandal, but such turbulence was far from enough to shake his business empire. Without hesitation, he publicly dumped Xiao Qingying, going live online while allegedly drunk to accuse her of being a chronic adulterer and drug addict. Xiao Qingying became the way she is now entirely due to her own faults. With no relation whatsoever to cosmetic surgery, he played the victim online to seek sympathy. Shockingly, he even received tips from some ignorant viewers. All the insults were endured by Xiao Qingying alone. Xiao Qingying was completely banned. Whether in the medical aesthetics industry or the entertainment circle, she completely lost her place. How could someone as restless as her possibly bow down and compromise? But she knew all too well Lu Tingchen's methods. She wouldn't dare approach Lu Tingchen. She only dared to come to me. Since childhood, I've been the only one she knew how to bully. 8. She asked me for money. I didn't give it to her. Then my parents appeared before me and verbally attacked me. Su Liang bought me an apartment in a high-end residential area, which spared me from my parents' harassment. But how could the parents let it go at that? They wanted to avenge their beloved eldest daughter. And they also wanted to secure enough benefits for their beloved eldest daughter to maintain her luxurious lifestyle. So, they had learned Lu Tingchen's tactics too, pretending to be drunk, going live to share heartfelt words with netizens, accusing my youngest daughter of being so unfilial. Yingying was just confused for a moment, but she's genuinely good to her parents. Our living expenses have always been covered by Yingying. Now that Yingying has fallen on hard times, we feel bad about burdening her further, so we wanted our youngest daughter Xiao Qingmeng to support us in our old age. But her, what a heartless ingrate. Yes, she's doing well now and looks down on her unsuccessful parents. I didn't wait for the internet to react. The moment I learned they were going live, I immediately posted everything that happened between my father and me in our rented room online, presenting it as truthfully as possible. This included my father's disapproval of me and the constant verbal abuse from my mother and sister during phone calls. Xiao Qingmeng might as well have never been born. What a useless coward. I asked her to put me up in a hotel, but she couldn't bear to part with that little money. She deserves to die. Not a bit as sweet and sensible as Yingying. Their live stream failed to garner any sympathy from netizens. Instead, I was met with relentless mockery from netizens. The comment section was filled with nothing but insults like old fossil. At this time, Su Liang also publicly defended my character, sharing how I had stood by her through all the hardships before her rise to fame, without a shred of assistance from my parents. Netizens nowadays are far from foolish. They wouldn't blindly believe just their parents' one-sided story. In this round, the parents and elder sister lost completely. Still unwilling to accept defeat, they even sought out Su Liang's parents, placing Su Liang herself on the moral judgment stand. But Su Liang had long ago confessed everything about the patriarchal rural family dynamics in previous interviews. Moreover, now, Su Liang has been supporting her parents according to the court's ruling. She hasn't done anything wrong, it's just that her parents indulged her lazy brother, giving him all their money, which led them to begging on the streets. This can't be blamed on Su Liang. They have only themselves to blame for their foolishness. He who commits many injustices is doomed to self-destruction. When Su Liang and I received the highest honor in film and television at the Starry Awards, our parents, sisters, and brothers reached a point where they couldn't even leave the house due to relentless cyberbullying. Walking on the street, cars would try to hit them. Eating at restaurants, someone would pour hot water on them. Sleeping at home, people would occasionally throw bricks through the windows. My sister was always so terrified she'd lose control of her bladder and bowels, and the humiliating scenes were even filmed and posted online publicly. This only deepened people's disgust toward the medical aesthetics industry. They found no peace. It was a stark contrast to their former happy and luxurious life. My parents contacted me using unfamiliar phone numbers, accusing and berating me. I simply replied, I am not the one who caused all this. Those were all my sister's own choices. She could have had a brilliant path to stardom, but she gave it up. She only wanted to marry into wealth. But is marrying into wealth that easy? becoming a casualty of the wealthy, was her own choice. I don't know if my parents relayed this message to my sister, but in the end, my sister joined the rights protection efforts against Liren plastic surgery. She teamed up with a group of girls who had failed plastic surgeries and stormed Liren's headquarters. They fought and smashed things. Finally, she even barged into Lu Tingchen's office, took a knife, and stabbed him. Each stab was fatal. The news of Lu Tingchen's death made headlines. Following that, the news of her sister being imprisoned for life was also broadcast on television in order to get their sister out. The parents resorted to bribery and ended up being imprisoned themselves. Su Liang clicked her tongue repeatedly while reading the news. I wonder if the plastic surgery hospital that killed people will go bankrupt now that Lu Tingchen is dead. As she expected, Liren Hospital soon went bankrupt. After discussing with Su Liang, we decided to take over the Liren chain stores. We also converted Liren Plastic Surgery Hospital into a public welfare gym. Moreover, we told women worldwide to cherish their physical health and not measure their aesthetics by a single standard. Beauty must be diverse. The obsession with pale, young, and thin figures is merely a tactic used by weak and incompetent men to manipulate women they perceive as weaker. Those who love you won't dislike your dark skin. Those who adore you won't care if you're not slim enough. Your physical health and mental well-being matter more than anything else. Live well, eat well, love yourself well. That's all for the first story. Stay tuned for even more exciting stories coming up. My brother-in-law lost over $1 million trading futures. My mother-in-law threatened suicide to force my husband to fill this financial hole. $1 million yuan. Even with extreme frugality, it would take my husband and me 5 years to save that much. Eldest son, you must save your younger brother. You're his own flesh and blood. Mom, where am I supposed to get $1 million yuan? My mother-in-law glanced at me and whispered, how about you sell your house? I laughed in frustration. As far as I recall, your younger son also owns a property. Since he can't pay off his own debts, shouldn't he sell his own house? How can that be? He's not married yet. This house is reserved for his wedding. When I came home from work in the evening, I saw my mother-in-law sitting on the floor with red eyes, clearly having just cried. Holding a bottle in her hand that looked like some kind of pesticide, my husband sat silently on the sofa. I asked curiously, Mom, what's wrong? Why are you sitting on the floor? Get up quickly. If you don't agree today, eldest son, I'll never get up. I might as well drink poison and die. Mother-in-law started crying again. I stared at them both in confusion, unsure what had happened to drive mother-in-law to such desperation. Only after asking did I find out. My brother-in-law lost over $1 million trading futures, borrowed heavily from online lenders, and now can't repay them. Debt collectors are knocking on his door. $1 million? I asked in shock. My husband nodded. $1 million would take my husband and me 5 years of scrimping and saving to earn. Yet my brother-in-law lost that much in one go, so now my mother-in-law is throwing herself on the ground threatening suicide just to make my husband pay back that $1 million. Eldest son, you must save your younger brother. You're his own flesh and blood. Back then you promised your father you'd take care of him. You can't abandon your brother now. My mother-in-law pounded the floor while crying, Mom, this is $1 million we're talking about. Even if you sold me, I wouldn't have $1 million to give you. Where do you expect me to get that kind of money? My husband roared. My mother-in-law glanced at me and said quietly, how come you don't have it? I've already checked. Selling this apartment would fetch you well over $1 million. I stared at my mother-in-law in shock and asked incredulously, I remember my brother-in-law also owns an apartment. If he can't pay off his own debts, shouldn't he sell his own place? Wouldn't the logical thing be to sell your own property if you can't repay your debts? How did they end up eyeing someone else's house instead? At the very least, my mother-in-law owns her own apartment. If she wants to help her son repay the debt, shouldn't she sell her own place? I don't know which of my words struck a nerve, but she suddenly scrambled up from the floor, rushed over to me, pointed at my nose, and yelled, that's out of the question. He's not married yet. This apartment is reserved for his future marriage. I knew it. You've always had your eye on this apartment. Do you wish for him to remain single his whole life, never marry, so that when we're all gone, this house will be yours? Such a heavy accusation has completely stunned me. How did it become about me coveting someone else's house? Clearly, it's them who are now eyeing to sell our house. Get this straight, he's the one in debt now. Selling his house to pay it off is only right. There's no way we're selling ours. If he can't pay, let him go to jail. Suddenly, the mother-in-law opened the bottle in her hand and brought it to her lips. Eldest son, just tell me, will you agree or not? If you don't, I'll die right here in front of you today. You promised your father you'd take care of your younger brother. Now look at what your wife is saying. She's trying to push your brother to his death. You can't just forget about your brother once you've married a wife. I don't want to live anymore either. I'm going to join your father underground and let him see how his precious eldest son treats us mother and child. As she spoke, the mother-in-law raised her head and was about to drink it. In that instant, my husband rushed over, snatched the bottle, tilted his head back, and drank it himself. I immediately rushed over and knocked the bottle away. What are you doing? Are you trying to kill yourself? I shouted. Who knows what was inside that thing? Mom, next time you want to die, at least make it convincing. And if you're going to die, do it somewhere else, not in my house. After saying this, my husband drove his mother away. Only after my mother-in-law left did I realize this wasn't the first time she had attempted suicide by drinking pesticide, when I was filling out my college entrance exam preferences. She threatened me with pesticide to make me choose a local university. She was afraid I wouldn't come back if I left. The second time was when I wanted to buy a house, and she forced me to buy one for my younger brother first. This is the third time. I'm still quite scared. What if it really is pesticide inside? No. She wouldn't dare die. She hasn't gotten the money yet. How could she die? She can't let go of her youngest son. That night, my husband didn't sleep at all, so am I. We've been married for 3 years and currently have 300,000 in savings, which we plan to use to buy a car. I don't know if he'll take out the money to save his brother. If he does, should I agree? If he doesn't, would he feel guilty towards his deceased father? I just didn't expect my concerns to be unnecessary. On Saturday morning while resting at home, someone knocked on the door. I opened the door and saw a man in a suit accompanied by a couple. He introduced himself as a real estate agent. Bringing clients to view the house today. I'm not planning to sell my house. Are you sure you've got the right place? I asked, puzzled. The agent looked up at the house number, then checked his phone and said, Sis, you're right. This is the apartment. It was just listed on our system yesterday. Let me show you. With that, he opened his phone and showed it to me. It was indeed our family's house. I saw the online listing price was 1.3 million. With a note saying the price was negotiable for interested buyers. My vision went black, and I couldn't even stand steady. As far as I know, the unit downstairs with the same layout as mine sold for 1.5 million last month. Sis, you really made the right call selling your place. The real estate market is sluggish right now. If you want to offload a property, you've got to lower the price, otherwise, you'll just be stuck with it and lose even more, especially since you're in a hurry to sell. Suddenly, it all made sense to me. It must have been my mother-in-law's doing. She listed the house without our consent and set the price so low, all just to pay off her younger son's debts. After kicking the agent out, I immediately called Fang Yiming. Did you know your mom listed our house online for sale? Someone just came to view it, I said anxiously. I thought Fang Yiming would be as angry as I was, but unexpectedly, he remained silent the whole time. After a long while, he finally spoke. I listed the house with an agency yesterday. What? You listed it? Why, are you selling the house? So now you're selling our only home to save your brother. Don't forget, even if you sell it, you'll only get half the money. Fang Yiming still didn't speak. I'm so angry. I thought it was my mother-in-law trying to secretly sell our house without our consent, but it turned out it was him who wanted to sell the house, and he didn't even discuss it with me beforehand. I thought selling the house without consulting me was already shocking enough, but his next words left me utterly disappointed. Let's get a divorce. Divorce? What do you mean? Exactly what it sounds like. After saying this, he hung up the phone. I stared at the disconnected call, completely bewildered. So now he's chosen to help his brother and abandon me. In the afternoon, another group came to see the house, and someone even asked if we could sign the contract on the spot. When I first bought this house, I was immediately drawn to its excellent lighting and ideal floor level. On top of that, I poured my heart and soul into the renovation. Even after living here for nearly 2 years, every aspect remains as good as new. Plus, it's priced 200,000 yuan below market value. Any serious buyer would recognize it as a fantastic deal. I thought selling the house and going through a divorce were already heartbreaking enough. Then around 4 p.m. I noticed a bank transaction alert on my phone. The moment I saw the amount, my legs went weak. 98,000 exactly. I immediately ran into the room, trembling as I pulled open the drawer, rummaging through it but couldn't find the card with the 300,000. I felt like the sky was falling. No way, no way. So Fang Yiming took the card and bought nearly 100,000 yuan worth of stuff. Just as I was about to call and confront him, he came back. I rushed up anxiously and shouted loudly, "What did you buy? What did you spend 100,000 yuan on? Why didn't you tell me?" "Don't panic, let me explain," he said. Fang Yiming looked completely unfazed. "How could I not be anxious? 100,000. What exactly did you spend 100,000 on? What are you really trying to say? Don't rush, let me explain it to you slowly." Seeing him still so calm and collected, I also settled down, eyeing him suspiciously. "My mom is insisting I come up with 1 million now. Right, I figure she definitely won't let this go. Why don't we sell the house first, then get a fake divorce? After that, all the money from the house sale will go to you. I'll tell my mom you couldn't take me borrowing money to pay debts anymore, so we divorced and the house went to you. That way she won't keep eyeing the house." Then he added, "Once everything's settled later, we can remarry." I asked in surprise, "A fake divorce? I've only heard of fake divorces to buy houses before, never thought people would fake divorces to sell houses now." "Yes, then all the proceeds from the house will go to you. I won't take a single penny." "Wrong. You still haven't said what you spent 100,000 yuan on." Just then, Fang Yiming took out a bag from behind him. "Look. Didn't you always complain that I didn't buy you the 3 golds when we got married? Today I spent 98,000 yuan to buy you a bracelet and a necklace," my husband said proudly. I stared in shock at the gold bracelet and necklace before me. These 2 items cost 98,000. I plan to use the remaining 200,000 to buy gold bars from the bank later. By then, we'll have no savings left, and let's see how my mom can still pressure me to repay my brother's debts. Are you out of your mind? Why didn't you just give me the savings instead of buying this without my consent? Honey, I'm doing this for your own good. Money can be divided as marital property, but gold jewelry isn't treated the same way. If you hold on to it, my mom won't be able to do anything about it. Besides, gold retains its value. With the way prices are rising now, the 300,000 yuan we spend on gold today might be worth 400,000 yuan in a year. Really? I asked skeptically. It did seem like he had a point. Of course, so now we're getting a fake divorce, and all the family's money goes to you. Yes, when I got back just now, the agent had already called me, saying someone is willing to buy our house for 1.35 million. I've decided to sign. But last month, the unit downstairs sold for 1.5 million. 1.35 is too much of a loss, I said discontentedly. I don't want to sell the house, and it's not just about the 150,000 difference, even if we're getting divorced. He could leave with nothing. Selling the house isn't necessarily the only option. If we were to remarry later, it would be difficult to find a reasonably priced and comfortable house. But Fang Yiming didn't seem to think so. If you don't sell the house, even after we divorce, my mom might still come knocking on your door every day. Believe it, that was indeed possible. My mother-in-law was the type who wouldn't give up until she got her way. But I really don't want to sell the house at such a big loss. Is there no other way? Do we really have to sell the house? I said hesitantly. We could also choose not to divorce and not sell the house, but then we'd have to endure my mother's harassment. It's your choice. Sure enough, the next day my mother-in-law came. My brother-in-law came along this time, ignoring me. My brother-in-law walked straight in and sat on the sofa, crossing his legs. I knew he had issues with me. After graduating from college, My brother-in-law tried several jobs but didn't last long in any of them. He either complained about the low pay or the long hours, saying he was often mistreated by his bosses, and then he just stayed at home, sitting in front of the computer all day every day, claiming to be working on big projects to make big money. To put it bluntly, he's just a NET, living off his family. He didn't mooch off his mom, he mooched off his older brother. Constantly asking him to transfer money, always saying he was broke or short on cash, promising to pay it back once he struck it rich. At first, I turned a blind eye, but later I wouldn't let Fang Yiming transfer money to his younger brother anymore. The two of us are working ourselves to death outside while they're living it up at home, untouched by the sun or rain. How is that fair? And the money we lent them has never been paid back. Sis-in-law, I heard you're against selling the house, said the younger brother-in-law, fiddling with the remote control on the couch. Oh, selling the house, why would I sell it? As soon as I finished speaking, he rushed up to me, pointed angrily, and yelled, "Don't play dumb with me. My brother bought this house. What right do you have to stop us from selling it? Look at this. How can someone's face be so thick-skinned? You know it was your brother who bought it. Then why are you meddling? What right do you have to sell the house?" I sneered. "Because I'm his brother. This house has my share. He promised our late father to take care of me, and now is the time for him to fulfill that promise." At this point, the mother-in-law, who had been standing silently by the side, spoke up. "Huazi, please have some sympathy for us, a widow and her child. We really have no other choice. Sai Cheng is still young and unmarried. If we sell the house, he'll never be able to find a wife in his lifetime. And where would this old woman live if we sold the house?" Mother-in-law spoke with genuine emotion. "But if they all have excuses not to sell their houses, does that mean Fang Yiming and I should sell ours? Mom, if Yiming and I sell our house, where would we live?" Seeing that I seemed to be softening, my mother-in-law immediately said, "It's simple. You two can rent first, and once you've saved enough money, you can buy another place. You both earn quite a bit each year. And housing prices are low now. Within 3 years, you'll definitely be able to buy again. Then you could also move in with Sicheng. Don't you often say he doesn't eat on time and that takeout is unhealthy? This would be the perfect chance for you to move in and cook for him. Later, when he gets married and has kids, you could even help take care of them. These two really have it all figured out." My mother-in-law looked at me awkwardly, hesitating to speak. "Mom, why bother talking nonsense with her? I'm determined to sell this house. Before she came to our family, everything my brother had was mine. If it weren't for her, this house would have been mine too, and now we're still here wasting our breath on her." I widened my eyes and stared at Fang Sicheng. How could he say so confidently that everything belonging to his brother was his? Whether before or after marriage, his brother's belongings were never his. Now I finally understand what Fang Yiming said last night. If we don't sell the house and just get divorced, these two will absolutely not let it go. We're here today to inform you. Start packing your things immediately because we're selling this house. If you don't pack your belongings properly, don't blame us when the house is sold and you can't get them. After they left, the angrier I got the more I thought about it. "Do you want to sell this house? Good, I'll grant your wish." That evening, when Fang Yiming came home, I told him what had happened during the day and agreed to sell the house. "You said yesterday that someone was willing to buy it for 1.35 million. Right, let's sell it to them. I won't let your brother get a single penny. This is infuriating, absolutely shameless. Yesterday I already said I was going to sell the house, but you didn't believe me. Now you want to sell for 1.35 million. But it's too late. Today the agent told me someone else in our complex caught their eye. They signed the deal on the spot. But," Fang Yiming looked at me, sighed, and said, "The agent said someone is willing to offer 1.2 million. If we agree, they can pay in full." "What, so we'd lose 300,000? Yeah, if we're in a hurry to sell, we'll have to lower the price. So now we're going to lose another 150,000 just because of one day." Suddenly, an idea occurred to me. Isn't it just about letting my mother-in-law know that we've already sold this house, so they can't scheme for it anymore? In that case, it doesn't necessarily have to be a real sale. "Honey, I have an idea. Why don't we ask a friend to buy this house? That way, we won't have to worry about selling it at a loss. Later, when things are resolved, We can get it back. I'm such a genius. It's like moving money from the left hand to the right hand, with no loss at all. No, Fang Yiming flatly refused. Why not? I think it's quite good, I asked puzzled. Which friend of yours would be willing to do this, and moreover, won't regret it later? Can you trust him completely? Have you thought about what if he doesn't want to transfer the house to us later? That's something I hadn't considered. After thinking for a while, I tentatively asked, how about having my parents buy it? Before I could finish speaking, Fang Yiming flew into a rage. Zhao Hua, what do you mean by this? Why involve your parents? I stared blankly at Fang Yiming, not understanding why he was angry. If friends can't be relied on, then parents surely can. My parents buying this house wouldn't mean they'd move in. We'd still live here when we return, and the place wouldn't be messy. What's wrong with that? I just don't want to sell the house, let alone sell it at a loss. What's wrong with my parents buying it? I was furious. This whole situation actually had nothing to do with me. If it weren't for my brother-in-law's debts and him setting his sights on our house, would we even need to sell it at a reduced price? Now that I've proposed a compromise, Fang Yiming actually has the nerve to complain. Fang Yiming probably realized his tone was too harsh and quickly said, your parents' names are known to my mom and my brother. Once they see the property deed, won't they figure it out? It's such a hassle. What if they don't bother us but start bothering your parents instead? I don't want to cause trouble for your parents, I'm already stressed enough. Then what do you suggest? I asked irritably. Just sell it to the one offering 1.2 million. Plus, it's a full payment, saving us the bank processing time. I didn't speak. After a while, I asked, are you sure? Fang Yiming nodded. Then go ahead and sell it. The next evening after work, the agent brought someone over, a young man looking to buy the house. He inspected the place like he owned it, pacing back and forth. Are you not taking anything from here with you? We're definitely taking the appliances, I said irritably. That can't be right. Didn't you say apart from your personal belongings, nothing else would be taken? I looked at Fang Yiming in surprise. Did the 1.2 million include everything in the house? I disagree with this. The price of 1.2 million is already very low. Last month, a unit downstairs sold for 1.5 million. Now you're asking us to leave everything behind. That's impossible. The young man glanced at me and said, all right then, since we can't reach an agreement, I won't buy it. You can find someone who'll offer you 1.5 million. After saying that, he was about to leave. Fang Yiming quickly stopped him. Sell, we'll leave everything for you. These things are of no use to us anyway. After saying that, Fang Yiming pulled me aside. We're renting a place, and these things won't be of any use to us. Where would we even put them? It's just another problem. If we leave them at my parents' house, all these appliances and soft furnishings were bought by me. What difference does it make from giving them away for free? I don't agree. Fang Yiming grew anxious. Don't you understand? When the time comes, the entire 1.2 million yuan from the house sale will be yours. You can buy whatever you want with it. Selling these things secondhand now wouldn't even fetch 20,000 yuan. Why create unnecessary complications over such a small amount? I just couldn't comprehend. How was this any different from giving it away for free? I disagree. If you're going to waste it like this, I'd rather we sell the house at the normal market price, 1.5 million yuan, and use it to pay off your brother's debts. I'm staying at my parents' place tonight. With that, I walked away. I sat alone in the neighborhood playground for a long time. It's quite spacious here, with plenty of play equipment for kids. I used to think that someday when I had children, I could bring them here to play. I just never expected things to change so quickly. I haven't even gotten pregnant yet, and now we're selling the house. Just as I was about to go back and have a serious talk with Fang Yiming, I spotted my brother-in-law standing there with a girl, quite fashionable looking. My curiosity was piqued, so I immediately took out my phone and snapped a few photos to show Fang Yiming later, with his brother staying at home all day like this. How could he possibly know any women? The two were chatting and laughing, with my brother-in-law occasionally fixing the girl's hair. Is this his girlfriend? Which poor girl is this unfortunate? Found herself a lazy, debt-ridden man. Wait, why are they coming to this neighborhood? Never mind, not my business. My own life's a mess. Can't even sort myself out. At that moment, I saw the girl happily waving at someone. Turns out they were waiting for someone. No wonder they came to my neighborhood. When I got a clear look at the person approaching, I was stunned. Wasn't that the young man who had just come to see my apartment? I rubbed my eyes and looked again. Yes, it was definitely him. How did they know each other? Suddenly, an idea popped into my head. Could all of this be an act they're putting on? Ever since finding out my brother-in-law owed $1 million in debt, barely a week had passed before so many things happened. Not only did they have to sell the house, but they also had to fake a divorce. But there's one thing I can't figure out. Did Fang Yiming sell this house to pay off his brother's debts or for some other reason? If it was to pay off his brother's debts, why sell it so cheap? If it was for something else, then what was it? Or is all this just a coincidence? Did Fang Yiming not know this young man was acquainted with his brother? But soon I was proven wrong. I saw Fang Yiming coming downstairs. He stood at the foot of the building making a phone call, and then my phone rang. I answered immediately. Darling, where are you? Did you go to your parents' house? Shall I come pick you up? When I didn't respond, he continued, I just talked to them. And they're willing to pay an extra 20,000 for the soft furnishings. How impressive, settling the deal while I'm not even there. Oh really, Fang Yiming, if you think it's fair, then go ahead and sell it. Honey, where are you? I'll come pick you up. I'm at my mom's place, not coming back tonight. With that, I hung up the phone. Fang Yiming ended the call and headed out of the neighborhood. Was he coming to find me? Soon enough, I saw Fang Yiming get into a car, driven by the same young man who had just viewed the house. Damn it, they know each other. I stood there thinking for a long time, then sent Fang Yiming a text message. I've decided not to sell the house after all. Let your mom and brother come harass us then. It's such a loss at 1.22 million. As soon as I sent the text message, my phone rang. Fang Yiming anxiously asked, Honey, why aren't we selling the house again? If we don't, we'll never have peace. My brother and mom will harass us every single day. How hypocritical, saying such things while riding in the same car with his own brother. I now feel like this whole thing is a scam, just tricking me into selling my house. What, losing $1 million trading futures? These things only exist in their words. I've never seen any proof. Harassment is harassment. If they're making me sell my house at a loss of 300,000, I'd rather they harass me. After all, 300,000 isn't easy to earn. There was no response from the other side. After a long silence, Fang Yiming finally spoke. Can't you try to understand me? I don't want to be harassed by them anymore. I've had enough. Really, if you've had enough, how can you still ride in the same car with them? If you truly don't want to be harassed, we could sell the house and move to another city, make it impossible for your mother and brother to find us. We wouldn't even need to get divorced. How can this be? They're my mom and my brother. How could I just walk away? I see. I hung up before he could finish speaking. I did some quick mental calculations. When we bought the house, the down payment was 500,000 yuan. Fang Yiming contributed 300,000. I put in 200,000, and we took out a 200,000 yuan mortgage, which we paid off last year. Let's split the renovation costs 50-50. He'll cover the hard furnishings and I'll handle the soft furnishings. If we end up falling out and selling the house, at most I'd get half of the money. As for the savings, excluding the gold Fang Yiming bought, there's still 200,000 left. Shall we split that 50-50 too? Suddenly, something occurred to me. Gold jewelry. I hurriedly opened my phone and carefully examined the photos I had secretly taken earlier. The gold bracelet on the woman's hand next to my brother-in-law was exactly the same as the one Fang Yiming had bought. No wonder it looked familiar when I was taking the photo earlier. Suddenly, a terrifying thought crossed my mind. I immediately ran home and took out the gold bracelet and necklace that Fang Yiming had bought. Could these be fake? I quickly checked for the hallmark inside. Thank goodness, it was there. But when I brought a small magnet close, it stuck firmly to the gold without budging. Fake. So he said he spent 98,000 to buy me a bracelet and necklace, but they're actually all fake. The real ones are on someone else. Why treat me like this? What on earth is going on? This is so infuriating. Damn it, after all the trust I've placed in you, this is how you deceive me. Fine, you win. in that case, don't blame me for what comes next. An hour later, I stood inside the largest gold store in the city center. The dazzling array of gold jewelry in the store was truly overwhelming. Back when I got married, gold prices had risen and I couldn't bring myself to buy any. Now it's even more expensive. It suddenly dawned on me that if I kept hesitating to buy things for myself, I'd never have anything. Just as I was selecting gold pieces, Fang Yiming called me. Honey, I've got some great news for you. The young man who's interested in buying our house really likes it. He's increased his offer to 1.3 million, but he wants us to sign the contract tomorrow. Oh, really? Would you like to take a look at this? The sales assistant nearby brought over a bracelet. Honey, what's that noise? Where are you? Are you shopping? Fang Yiming asked cautiously. Yes, I'm buying gold. Didn't you say you were afraid your mom would harass us? I've decided to spend the remaining 200,000 on gold. So even if she comes asking for money, we won't have any. What? How dare you? Where are you? I'm coming right now. I'm warning you. This is our shared funds. If you dare to spend it all on gold, just you wait. Fang Yiming roared over the phone. But you didn't tell me when you bought gold last time either, I said innocently. How is that the same? Fang Yiming's voice grew louder. What's the difference? At worst, you can keep what you bought last time, and I'll keep what I buy this time. That should be fine, right? Zhao Hua, I'm telling you, if you dare to buy gold, we're getting divorced immediately, alright? I hung up the phone after saying that, couldn't ask for more. This time, I bought myself a real gold bracelet and necklace, spending 110,000, and also got myself the bucket bag I'd been longing for. When I returned home in the evening, Fang Yiming's face darkened instantly upon seeing what I was carrying. Did you really buy it? Honey, I only bought it because I was afraid your mom and brother might pressure you into lending them money later. There's still tens of thousands left in the card. If they really come asking for money, we can just give them the card. I pretended to be innocent as I spoke. Besides, didn't you say last time that the remaining 200,000 would be used to buy gold bars? It's just that gold bars were swapped for gold jewelry. They're pretty much the same. Fang Yiming remained silent. I saw his fists clench tightly, and suddenly, he laughed. Honey, you're always so thoughtful. Now that we've taken care of our savings, it's just this house left. I really think we can sell it for 1.3 million. And it's a full payment too, so the whole point was to sweet-talk me into selling this house. Just then, my phone rang. I saw it was a text message. Inside is a photo. Is your brother-in-law getting married? It was sent by my mom. Isn't the person in this wedding photo your brother-in-law? I took a careful look. P was dressed up so impeccably. Who else could it be? And wasn't that the girl beside him the same one who'd been with her this afternoon? Suddenly, I felt like the fake gold theory was starting to make sense. Could it be that his younger brother was getting married, and the bride's family demanded the traditional 3 golds? Maybe Fang Yiming was footing the bill for his brother. With that damn tight-fisted personality of his, how could he possibly be willing to shell out so much money for the bride's dowry? Who else would he turn to if not Fang Yiming? But because the amount was too large to explain, he faked it to deceive me. I looked at Fang Yiming standing before me. He had acted so convincingly earlier, telling his mother to get lost and claiming he didn't want to be harassed by them, only to turn around and use our money to buy gold jewelry for his brother. If that's the case, then why was he in such a hurry to sell the house, and at such a low price? Honey, what's wrong? Who contacted you? I immediately turned off my phone. It's nothing, just something at work. I was just about to tell you. You'll be thrilled when you hear this. A friend of mine who's also in real estate told me he has a client who's really eager to buy a unit like ours in our neighborhood. Our place could definitely sell for 1.4 million. And the deal could be signed within the next couple of days. I watched Fang Yiming's expression shift from shock to panic, then to something unnatural. Can they pay in full too? They can. The old couple already had the money ready to buy a house for their son. As for that young man who came to view the house this afternoon, I really didn't like him. The way he seemed dissatisfied with our house. If he bought it, he definitely wouldn't cherish it. I don't want to sell it to him. Fang Yiming gave an awkward laugh and then said, there's still the matter of first come, first served. We already agreed with them earlier. I never agreed, and besides, The contract hasn't been signed yet. If they're offering 4 million, I'm not going to turn down an extra 100,000 just to sign for 3 million. Watching Fang Yiming's defeated expression made me fucking ecstatic. But who would have thought that the next day Fang Yiming told me the other party was also willing to offer 4 million. Really? Fang Yiming nodded. What should we do now? My friend is still waiting for my reply. Honey, that young man is also sincere about buying. Look how he keeps raising his offer. Let's not mess him around anymore. I thought for a moment and said, all right then, let's make it clear. We'll sign the contract and pay the deposit tomorrow, not a penny less than 4 million. Absolutely. When I arrived at the real estate agency the next day, the young man buying the house was already standing there. He looked me up and down with disdain in his eyes, then spat on the ground. Pa, I wasn't angry. When it came time to sign, I pretended to be surprised and said, honey, this amount doesn't seem right. The young man sprang to his feet in an instant. What do you mean it's not right? It's clearly 4 million. Feigning surprise, I looked at him and said to Fang Yiming, honey, didn't you say last night they were willing to pay 5 million? That's why I came to sign today, but now it's changed to 4 million, 5 million. Why don't you just rob me? The young man said angrily. Zhao Hua. Stop messing around. When did I say 5 million? I said 4 million. Okay, stop causing trouble and sign the contract quickly. Fang Yiming also grew impatient. But you clearly said 5 million last night. You even boasted about tricking them into thinking someone else was offering a higher price to make our house seem in high demand. That's why they panicked and raised the price to 5 million. You even asked me to praise you for being clever. If you hadn't deceived them, they wouldn't have kept increasing the price. I pretended to be innocent as I spoke. Hearing this, the young man immediately exploded with anger. So it's you, Fang Yiming, who's been fooling me all along. No wonder you kept raising the price from 120 to 122, then to 130, and finally to 140. It was all your doing. Just you wait. I'm not buying the house anymore, and I'll have my sister abort the baby. I pretended to be shocked and asked, what sister? What baby? Fang Yiming. Have you been cheating? So Fang Yiming, you've been cheating on me behind my back. Is this that mistress's brother? No wonder you insisted on selling the house to him. This isn't about selling a house. You're making me move out to make room for your mistress, aren't you? Who are you calling a mistress? Let me tell you. My sister married his brother. Watch your mouth. By the time I came to my senses, a crowd of onlookers had gathered around us. Fang Yiming glanced at me and walked away. After returning home, I started packing my luggage, being schemed against by the person lying next to you. If you don't get divorced, are you waiting to have his child? Zhao Hua, what kind of madness are you up to? Fang Yiming said impatiently. Fang Yiming, get this straight. Can't I lose my temper? You're deceiving me. You conspired with outsiders to trick me into selling the house. I shouted loudly. How did I deceive you? I told you I'd give you every penny of the house payment. Can you honestly say you've been completely transparent about selling the house, without deceiving me at all? Fang Yiming remained silent. After a long pause, he finally said, my brother is getting married, the girl is pregnant, and my mom is eager to have a grandchild. What does that have to do with me? The woman agreed to marry him only if he buys a house for her younger brother. Why can't you be more understanding? We're all women. I was utterly shocked. So you're planning to give them our house? Your brother gets married, and we're supposed to give a free house to her brother. You want me to understand? How exactly am I supposed to understand? No, it's not like that. Their family specifically wanted our type of unit in our neighborhood, but their budget is only 2 million. They're not trying to get our house for free. They're willing to pay. Now I completely understand. So you sold our house at a low price to use as your brother's betrothal gift and gain favor. But half of this house is rightfully mine anyway. I gave you all the proceeds from the sale. You actually profited from this. You didn't lose anything at all. Fang Yiming suddenly flew into a rage. You insist on making a scene. All this fuss is just over that 300,000 yuan. We could earn that back in at most 2 years. I just don't understand. Besides, we bought this house for only 700,000 yuan. And now selling it for 1.2 million means we're making a profit. My brother is finally getting married after so much difficulty. As his elder brother, if I don't help him, who will? You're his sister-in-law too, why can't you try to understand? I couldn't help but find Fang Yiming's angry expression amusing. So now it's victim blaming. Him lying and deceiving me has somehow become my fault. Fang Yiming, you need to understand this clearly. You were dishonest about marriage. You conspired with outsiders to deceive me. Even if the house sold for 1.2 million, would you give me all of it? Later, wouldn't you use the excuse of buying a house to make me contribute? He's your brother, not mine. If you want to support your brother, don't drag me into it. If you don't want to take it out, I definitely won't ask you for it. Heh, a man's words are as deceitful as ghosts. You think I'd believe you? I sneered coldly. Why wouldn't you believe me? Apart from this matter, what else have I lied to you about all these years? Fine, fine, so you're stubborn, huh? I rushed into the room and threw the fake gold he bought right in his face. Who do you think you're fooling with this fake gold? Fang Yiming probably didn't expect me to know the gold was fake and stayed silent for a moment. Finally, he said, if you hadn't found out, I planned to make it up to you after earning more money. Listen to this. Even now he can still be so self-righteous. You bought gold for your brother's girlfriend without even thinking of buying me any. How can I expect you to buy me anything after you earn money? Mitch, let me ask one last thing. Did your brother really owe 1 million? Fang Yiming remained silent. Fine, fine, it was all an act from start to finish. Tricking me into selling the house cheap. This is absolutely ridiculous. Before I left, I told Fang Yiming that the house would be sold, but only at market price, and I'm getting a divorce, thinking of dragging me down to support your brother. No way, we'll split the assets equally. What about the gold you bought? How do we split it? Don't forget, even though you bought fakes, the money you spent was real. Half a month later, the house was sold. 1.55 million. I split everything equally with Fang Yiming. As for the initial 300,000 yuan savings, after buying golden bags, there was 60,000 left, which we also divided equally. We settled the division of assets clearly to avoid future disputes. 1 month later, Fang Yiming and I officially divorced. I recall that saying online, never marry into a family with 2 brothers. It really does make sense. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. See you in the next video.